My favorite thing ever, which I've yet to achieve, is I want to have a kid.
Wow.
Wow, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson had a whirlwind love for 9 months. And while it did not come as a surprise to numerous people, the relationship came to an end. But what really happened between Kim and Pete? Kim being slammed for using Pete. Did Pete indeed say anything about Kim apparently using him? We've all the details. As you may be well apprehensive, Kim and Pete first connected on the set of Saturday Night Live and indeed had a sketch in which they participated a stage kiss. Kim actually opened up about kissing Pete on SNL during an interview with Not Skinny But Not Fat, where she said, "And also when we kissed."
And then when we kissed, I was just like, really haven't kissed anyone else in 10 years, so maybe I'm just like stupid. There is some BDE action and like
Soon after SNL, Kim and Pete began dating, and it sounded like effects were getting more serious in the months that followed after they made effects sanction. Pete went on to bond with Kim's kiddies and indeed made a quick gem on her Hulu show. The Kardashians, both Kim and Pete, also made sweats to see one another since they began dating, flying from New York to Los Angeles. But as it seems, it came too inviting. The news of their bifurcation was a bit shocking to some people, because literally at the morning of August 2022, while Pete was re-photographing in Australia, close musketeers said that they were still obsessed with each other and transferred love notes while they were piecemeal. A source indeed told Us Weekly, Kim and Pete are in constant communication. They shoot each other love notes while the other is sleeping and FaceTime whenever their schedules link up. Anyway, after 9 months of courting, a source verified to Page 6 that Kim and Pete decided to go their separate ways. The source said Pete is 28 and Kim is 41. They're just in veritably different places at the moment. Pete is completely robotic and impulsive and wants her to fly to New York or whenever he's on a moment's notice. But Kim has 4 kiddies, and it is not that easy. She needs to concentrate on the kiddies. The sources also noted that Kim has a lot of liabilities in addition to fatherhood, like her starring part in Hulu's The Kardashians and several businesses, including her lately launched Skims line. Supposedly, she was completely exhausted by the relationship and other effects going on in her life. Other than those reasons, the source also said that there was also a lot of stress coming from her ex-husband Kanye West. Well, he has been less in the limelight recently, but we can all recall how Kanye was veritably public about his disapprobation of the relationship for a while. The bigwig said, when Kim is with someone differently, Kanye can beget problems with the kiddies. He tries to divide and conquer. He cannot help it. Kim is a really devoted mama, and her kiddies will always come first. She wants and needs harmony at home and in her life. Obviously, the bifurcation caused quite a buzz on social media, and in response to the bifurcation, one person wrote on Twitter, "Not Kim and Pete together for exactly 9 months and blazoned breaking up the day the baby is born." And another person wrote, "For some reason, I am authentically shocked about Pete and Kim breaking up. Everything I learned about them as a couple was against my will, and yet nearly deep outside I was 100 convinced they were in game." Of course, there are also those who said that the bifurcation was obviously coming. Like one person who wrote, "We all allowed they were really about to have a baby together?" Like what 41-time-old woman starts family number 2 with a 28-time-old, a billion bones less precious than her hubby? It was always a fantasy. You all were duped. In fact, some people said that Kim had suggested at the bifurcation weeks before the advertisement. When she visited Pete in July in Australia, Kim posted on her Instagram stories, "Girls can see the difference between 200 tones of new camo, but they cannot see red flags." She also participated another mysterious quotation, which read, "Occasionally, I wish I could go back in life, not to change effects, just to feel a many effects doubly." Other people on social media said that they were just sorry for Pete, because Kim had used him for 9 months straight, and continued to do so indeed, after Pete had made it clear that he was ready and willing to settle down. And when it comes to Kim using Pete, followers refocused out that first of all, Kim participated on the Kardashians that she made the first move on Pete after they appeared in the Squib together when she hosted the show in October 2021. She said, "So, this is how it went down. I did SNL. It was just a vibe. I called the patron at SNL and was like, "Hey, do you have Pete's number?" And they were like, "Yeah, I texted him. I was not indeed allowing oh my god, I am going to be in a relationship with him." Well, they ended up courting, and followers said that formerly Kim was done with Pete. She ditched him, and they were sorry because they felt Pete authentically invested in the relationship. For case, Kim posted a series of prints to Instagram on July 11, and eagle-eyed suckers noticed that Pete had another tattoo on his collarbone, courtesy of Kim, of the names Jasmine and Aladdin, with a perpetuity sign in the middle. Pete also had the letters GAN SAA on his skin, which obviously stands for Kim and her children, North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. He also has the words, "My girl is a council" written on his body, and Kim's name ingrained on his casque. It's easy to say that Pete typically gets rid of the tattoos after a bifurcation. But a branding Kim indeed talked about what the imprinting meant to Pete when she told Ellen on her show. Suckers also said that Kim completely used Pete, since he made it veritably clear that he wants to settle down one day, saying on Heart to Heart that having kiddies is his dream. Pete participated. "She's a one, nah, have a sprat. It's like my dream." So with respects to how Pete was serious and Kim was only using him, one person also refocused out, "I hope he does not do anything Gadaraim, because Kim used him to get Kanye jealous." Pete was looking for commodity, good and serious. Kim, the Kardashians, were looking for Hulu conditions. They had little regard for Kanye's internal health, so they are not going to watch if commodity happens to Pete. The follower was obviously pertaining to how Kanye made effects delicate for Kim and Pete when they started dating. First, it was Kanye averring that Kim is still his woman on the Drink Champs podcast, where he said that he'd no way indeed seen any divorce paperwork. Also, he took the stage at the Los Angeles Mission's periodic Thanksgiving event and addressed his relationship with Kim again. Kanye also slammed Pete when he took to his Instagram story to partake a screenshot of a TMZ's composition with the caption, "Kanye West says God will bring him and Kim back together, inspires millions." What follows coming was Kanye name dropping Pete in his January 2022 song, Easy. Kanye literally hovered Pete at the end of the song when he substantiated his 2002 auto accident, saying, "God saved me from that crash, just so I can beat Pete Davidson's." And let's not indeed begin with the music videotape where he buried Pete alive. Kanye also released a series of memes and posts on social media which made it clear that he wanted Pete out of him and his children's lives. Well, followers on social media said that Kim continued to date Pete for months just to make Kanye jealous. And another person who agreed that Kim surely used Pete wrote, "I am going to speak bluntly. I suppose Kim is an opportunist who got what she wanted out of Kanye by being suitable to cash in on black culture, being attached to him, and now that she wants to go mainstream again, use Pete as a way of stepping back into sanguineness." As for Pete, he's conceivably still absorbing the end of the relationship. But we will keep an eye for anything he says post-breakup. An eye for anything he says post-breakup. Keep it then for all the updates. And as we stay, check out this other interesting videotape